Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Before we begin, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell, and share this with someone that you think it would be a blessing to. And don't forget to join us every Wednesday night at 6:30 here in Surprise, Arizona. And remember, youth matter. You have a table that he prepares before you in the presence of your enemies. I always thought, what does that mean? What does that look like to have a table in front of my enemies? Well, I started thinking about this, and I sat at the table, and I thought, what God's doing is he's invited us to eat with him, which is really cool. When Jesus rose from the grave, he's always around food, which is so cool because I love food now that I'm out of wrestling. It's been so fun. When he was walking with two guys on this road, they didn't know it was Jesus, so he's telling them about himself, which is really cool. Then they get to the house, and he breaks bread. When he breaks bread, they're like, that's Jesus. He rose from the dead. There's food. When he appears to the disciples, they're eating fish. He's always talking about food. And then one day, we're going to sit at a table with him and have the greatest feast of all time. And I look forward to that day, and I hope you do too. But Jesus is always about food, so that's really cool. So I'm sitting at this table because he says, you prepare a feast for me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You prepare a feast for me. So we're at this table. We're invited to the table with Jesus. We're invited to the table. And I want to know sometimes, have we ever sat down at the table just to enjoy his presence, just to hang out with him, just to see how he's doing? That's even opening this sometimes, just seeing where he's, this keeps going out. Garrett gave me this really cool $2 bill. Have we ever just sat down at the table to hang out with him? Do you know how bad Jesus wants to spend time with you and hang out with you? Just like a parent wants to hang out with you, but you guys think parents are so annoying, and I remember feeling that way too, but a parent just wants to hang out with their kid. The time goes so fast, and I wonder how many times Jesus is just sitting at the table in our life, and he's just sitting there waiting for you just to sit at the table and join him. And then to have it prepared before my enemies, there's some confidence that comes with that no matter who's around or what's around, he just wants me to sit at the table and enjoy it with him. But for some reason in our lives, here we go. Even if I've asked God into my life, I'm so excited. The first time you receive Christ, the only time that you need to, it takes one time, is I'm here, I'm excited, my life's changed, it's transformed. I'm like, woo, I sit at this table and it's all good, and then life starts to get tough. And it's hard to enjoy the feast. It's hard to enjoy this time with him. And what we tend to do in tough times is we're at the table, God's right here, he's on the other end of this, and I'm sitting here, we're chatting. But you know where my eyes go? All over here. Matt, focus on me. Yeah, but this is going on in my life right now. Matt, I'm right here. Yeah, but man, my wife and I were arguing. My kids are sick, and with inflation, it's been tough to I'm not sure how we're going to make it this month. And I'm looking everywhere, but where my focus should be. Maybe some of you can relate to that with things that happen in your own life, with things at home, things at school, things at your job, things with your friends. When it seems like stuff is all over the place and chaos is going on, it's so hard to keep our eyes fixed on the Creator and who's at the table with us. Instead, our eyes shift all over to what's going on around us and who we're sharing a meal with. For some reason, here's God, and I'm like this the entire time. This is going on. What's over here? Matt, I'm right here. I know, but listen. You guys remember when the disciples were in a storm and Jesus was on the boat with them? What was he doing? What was he doing? He was sleeping. He was sleeping in the middle of a storm. Here's the cool thing about Jesus. He's 100% God, 100% man. So even though, the man of him was sleeping, God never rests. So at the same time, he was awake and aware of what was going on. And all the disciples had to do in the middle of the storm, you know what they did? How did he wake up? Does anyone know? How did Jesus wake up in the storm?
His disciples begged him to wake up.
Say it again, Logan.
His disciples begged him to wake up.
They said, get up, wake up. It's like, oh, okay. The storm wasn't waking up. He wasn't afraid of that. He's Jesus. And sometimes we have these storms in our lives and we don't even want to go to the one that we're sitting at the table with, who's prepared this table for us to enjoy life with. Yeah, before your enemies, before what's going on, he's here at the table with you. And we do this. We look at the storms. We look at the enemies. We look at the stress, the depression, the anxiety. We look at all these things. And the minute that they called to Jesus, it stopped. The minute that they called out to him to wake him up, everything stopped and there was peace in their life. Sometimes Jesus is just waiting for you to call on him. And you will see peace in your life, that you can actually enjoy a meal with the one who created you and thought of you and designed you exactly how you are, and how much he loves you, and he cannot wait to spoil you and tell you his precious thoughts that he has of you. But you got to sit at the table to enjoy your time with him. Then he says this, surely your goodness and unfailing love, in verse 6, will pursue me. I underlined in my Bible, pursue. Jesus never stops pursuing you. No matter how far you've ran, no matter how far you've gone, no matter what sin you've done, the things that you do, no matter what, he never stops pursuing you. Never. He keeps coming after you. Now are you running to him to enjoy his embrace, his comfort, his peace, his protection, and his table?